All right. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Today's November 6th, 2022. Triple option. We're gonna, follow up on the weekend of college football. Get that action. Follow up on it. It was man, it was full of surprises yesterday. And so we'll just give a little recap. And then of course, the big matchup between Tennessee and Georgia. We'll get into that. Somebody had to win, somebody had to lose, but we're gonna talk about the matchup, get into the whys and what's, and then also we could talk about what is next for Georgia and Tennessee. So if you guys ready, we'll get into the intro and come on right back.
All right.
All right, triple option. All right, we're back. We'd like to thank Jones Music Company LLC for the hot track. We are also on Blackjack TV. We thank Blackjack TV for the simulcast. All right, in the building with me, I'm Miss 411, but in the building with me is Brooks, Case, and also Terrell Goddard, known as Goddard. All right, so here we go, guys. We'll jump right into the Georgia and Tennessee matchup. It's the University of Georgia with the victory. Was impressive victory here, but a game Tennessee team. So let's jump right into that matchup, guys. What was your analysis of what occurred yesterday? And we'll start with the Tennessee fans.
Well, Georgia came to play, and like I mentioned previously on here, that I felt I didn't want that target, that number one status, and I don't think our guys were ready for it. Some of them came out flat. Some of them played, not to take away nothing Georgia's game plan. They played an awesome game. Uh, they were well prepared. They really minimalized our deep threats. Even the chances that we had going downfield, we didn't connect on the plays. Henry Hook was off a little bit, and mainly because of the pressure that Georgia put on him, like like 20 quarterback pressures, 6 sacks. So, I mean, they had a great game plan, and we, like I said, we didn't. And even the moments that we had a chance to, or the moment we could have made a play here and there, we just didn't make those plays, and so we wasn't ready.
All right, Brooks, what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned yesterday, I thought one of the big factors was going to be how I thought the crowd was going to be ready and how would they handle the crowd. And the crowd affected the game. They had 6 or 7 false starts.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big factor. Yeah, the pressure. I knew with Nolan Smith out, we needed to get pressure on the quarterback, and we did. There were guys open. There were guys open downfield. There were chances to make big plays for Tennessee. But that pressure affects the quarterback. And so he was just a little off rhythm and couldn't make those big plays, and limited those big plays on the defensive side of the ball. 6 sacks, so we got to him, which was, again, that was going to be key. I think he only got sacked. I don't know, he only got sacked, I think, total of 3 times coming into the game. So I think we doubled that. On offense, I thought our receivers really stepped up. I think Tennessee's game plan was to take away our tight ends. But we had some big plays from our receivers. Rosemary Jackson, McConkey, Arian Smith had a big catch. So I think that was really key. Our receivers stepping up because there's been questions at times, and we have the playmakers at wide receiver, and they made plays yesterday. So.
Well, there it is. Yeah, it's good opening analysis there. Shout out to Tony Goddard. He mentions 8 false starts, and that also, that having that many false starts can derail your drives. Stop any momentum that you may have. And so, especially, I noticed the opening possession that Tennessee had. They had some quick passes. It seemed like they were moving it, and then penalties, boom, and they just ruined it right off the rip. And but shout out to Tony Goddard. Great point with the 8 false starts. That falls back into maybe playing on the road as well. As part of that, and something that Goddard also mentioned. You mentioned earlier, Terrell, that maybe the team wasn't ready for that target on their back right away, playing from that number 1 position versus versus being the hunter versus to being the hunted. You know what I'm saying? 2 different things.
Right, coming in I feel like honestly coming in the way we came, unranked preseason. Like a lot of fans and even I know sure the team felt like okay we'll have a good year, but we've had a great year. Even with that loss, it's still a great year. Georgia they were ready to play. They were the best team yesterday, and you go on social media. I saw a couple people saying like, okay, well, so Tennessee's overrated. Like, how did it make us overrated when clearly what I'm saying? Georgia's a different caliber team. They had the game plan. They won the game. That don't mean Tennessee's overrated. And just that pressure from those guys, not a lot of the guys that's been in the program a few years, not used to winning, not used to being on this stage. So that's why I felt like going into being that number 1 team, it's a target and it's like a lot of pressure on some of the players. And now they feel like they got to play to that standard. They were trying too hard or whatever. And I feel like it made some of them stagnant.
Yeah, and also, how many teams will go into Sanford Stadium and come out with a victory? You know what I mean? So,
right,
it's not like everybody can go in there and do that. And so,
right.
Yeah, I think we may want to, hold off a little bit on the Tennessee overrated situation because Tennessee also defeated Alabama, and so and in LSU,
Yes,
so
and right.
so
LSU is really trending right now.
yeah. So let's look at it that way. Of course, we're going to talk about LSU in a little bit as well. And but let's get a couple stats up here. And here's some of the stats from Tennessee. And if you guys want to just talk on this for a little bit and give your pros and cons from there. And we'll start with Tennessee fan again.
I think we could have had opportunities to run the ball more. Even though Georgia had that game plan as far as taking away, our big plays. And I don't know if y'all paid attention to that one play he missed, Jalen Hyde down the sideline when he overthrew him.
Yeah.
I don't know if when Jalen Hyde actually went to as he was slowing down, he actually twisted his ankle on the referee's foot. So that slowed him down. He kind of limped most of the rest of the game. And then even Tillman coming off the high ankle injury, he caught a jump ball on the play and came down kind of awkward. And I think he re-aggravated it. And Jabari Small, our leading our number 1 running back, that's why he only had those 3 carries because he came down on his shoulder, which was a problem for him last year. So like I say, not taking away from what Georgia did. Also, our 3 best playmakers, it kind of limited our offense a little bit too. Jalen Hyde, they were still on the field, but they weren't explosive that they could be.
All right. Brooks, what do you think here about some of the stats here? Do you see, in particular, the passing stats from Hooker? 195 yards there.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is when you look at it, you look at their long 28 for Hooker. I mean, that's the key. We limited their big plays. And I mean, with the limiting their big plays, we limited how they want to run their offense. They want to be fast paced, and they really could pick up the pace. So I think they couldn't do that, and they couldn't without that fast pace. They couldn't freeze our defensive personnel on the field and tire us out. So that's the key for me. That long of 28. I mean, if I go into the game and you say the biggest pass play of the game for Hooker is going to be 28 yards, I think Georgia wins. So
you're right.
Yeah. Okay, let's switch over to the Georgia stat. stats here, and we'll start with you, Brooks. What stands out on this side of things?
Yeah, I mean, it was Stetson Bennett yesterday. I mean, his composure in the pocket, his accuracy, that touchdown throw to Rosemary Jackson in the back of the end zone, that was just, I mean, that was an elite throw. Just a great throw. So, I mean, it's all about him. They ran the ball effective. I mean, no running back really stood out. They're all, again, they was kind of a running back by committee. I thought Dejon Edwards had some really tough runs there. That run to close it out in the fourth quarter to get that first down. That was a tough run. So he ran tough all night, ran through contact. I really like him. I think he's coming into his own as, you know, that kind of back, that top back behind McIntosh. Yeah, it's Stetson Bennett. The long run, you know, when we turned it over and gave up the 3 points, to come back down the field and score that touchdown that following series was huge to me. And that's Stetson Bennett run for
Yep. Brooks, are you still there? All right. Well, Brooks is out, but here's some stats on Stetson Bennett. He just mentioned Stetson Bennett, and Bennett had 3 total touchdowns, 257 yards there. So he had an excellent game on yesterday, and it didn't hurt to have that defense.
Right.
So.
All right, Goddard, you got anything here on the Georgia side of things?
Nah.
Pretty much self-explanatory there.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
I ain't talk about it. I mean, yeah, ain't much to talk about.
But there's the team stats as well. If you look at the team stats, I mean, it could be a little misleading, but, you know, the first downs, you know, Tennessee had more first downs. That could be because of other elements. But, I mean, it's not like the stats are staggering against one another. I'll say this, too. One of the key plays in the game to me was that punt, that 75-yard punt.
That was a major. That was the pivot play.
Yeah.
To start the game. That was the pivot play.
Yeah.
That was the catalyst to everything.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was the catalyst when they kicked down that ball went out on the 1, because like I say, it could have went so many different ways on that 4th down. Like I felt like it was a forward pass, or it should have been incomplete. Like I say, but at the same time, it could have been it should have been a safety. If you looked at how he caught the ball and was tackling the end zone, it could have been a safety. So it benefited us for them not to get them 2 points. But then we turn right back around. First play on first down, they go for a touchdown. So it's like, yeah, that was the momentum swing there. Like that was a big swing. Yeah. So that was another one of those drives there where Hendon Hooker and the offense really couldn't. They didn't get a chance to get any type of rhythm going because we were playing with our heels to the goal line. Well, in the end zone actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talk about offensive defense, but special teams played a major factor in there. Yeah. All right. Here's another comment from Tony Goddard. With the mention in the front line that Georgia has, I feel like Tennessee should have had the quarterback deeper in the pocket to disrupt, the timing from the rush. What adjustments you think, Goddard, that you think that Tennessee could have made to negate that front line of Georgia?
I think we should have ran, and we hadn't really done it. I can't even recall a time we've done much of it. I think we could have ran some running back screens. You know what I'm saying? We run, of course, we run the receiver screens out wide or whatever. But I felt like with that, because like our timing was off, and even like some plays, I felt like, because usually we get to the line, like I said, we can go fast pace, and what Hendon Hooker would do, like most college teams do, like they initiate like they're gonna snap the ball, but don't. They want to see if the defense gonna show or whatever. And the same guy, number 22, mostly was coming off the edge out of that safety position. I think he's a safety, and like Hendon wasn't picking it up. So I'm thinking like, why you not picking it up? And if anything else, we should have been adjusting and running some slants or something off the edge versus still trying to go deep. We were still trying to get vertical, and we should have just been taking the underneath passes. So that's another thing. And Tony mentioned getting deep in the pocket. I mean, that sounds good, but at the same time, if that edge coming from outside, if it's coming off the edges, that don't help the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants to be able to move up in the pocket. So if he's deeper, that's not going to help him much either. And at the same time, when that and then they had guys coming up the middle. When Georgia send pressure, they send pressure. Sometimes it looked like 9 people were coming. I know they weren't sending that much, but the way they disguise and the way they come, they send those blitz packages. It's hard to determine sometimes where it's come from. And I felt like Hendon Hooker really, I don't think he analyzed the plays beforehand sometimes. And that's another gift and curse when you run a fast-paced offense. A lot of times we were going too fast. Even that time on that 3rd and 1, where they should have slowed down and let them review it because he was a first down. Then we go and don't get it. Then we try to go down on 4th down. Had we slowed down, they would have had a chance to look at it because it clearly was a first down. But we hurt ourselves trying to be too fast sometimes. So, like I said, it's some things we could have done. But like I said, I think Hooker himself didn't really analyze the defense like he normally does or whatever.
Yep. You got anything, Brooks?
No, I think one of the things I noticed yesterday is how physical our DBs were being, and I think that was intentional. And with the college rule, pass interference only being 15 yards, I think Kirby went out and said, "Hey, jam these guys, be physical with these guys, be handsy with these receivers. You may get some penalties, but in the end, I think it'll work out in our favor." And I think that's what they did. They were real physical, real handsy, and I think that was again, we did a good call for it, but I think in the end, I think it was a benefit for us.
All right. Well, I have something else I want to throw in here about this matchup. So the second half, I mean, the game, correct me if I'm wrong, but Georgia had 21 points in the first half. Was 21-6? Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's 24.
24. And so
yeah, we kicked
end of the game, there's 27. So what happened in the second half? Why was there not that much scoring in the second half?
The weather.
Georgia really, the weather played a big factor. So they started running the ball a lot, and plus Georgia was really just trying to they were trying to end the game. They slowed it down. Like they realized it wasn't much we could do, and we wasn't making those plays. Even when early in the, I'm gonna say mid 4th quarter, when we took another shot and like we were driving and they got the interception. Had we scored there, now we really have a ball game. But like you say, Ringo made a great play. Like he said, he was physical at the line, and to that, even Tillman, like he's not 100%, so he didn't have that. He's running, but he don't have that. Like he couldn't be physical when you laboring like that. You really can't be physical. You know what I'm saying? So I think Ringo made a great play. You know what I'm saying? The ball was it wasn't in a bad place, but Ringo just was in a great position. He made a hell of a play. And like you said, like it was just the weather. When that rain started coming down, so we're like, okay, let's run. Even we were getting we had some good run plays, but we just didn't have those breaks like we needed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brooks.
I think, just to add, even, Kirby was content on running the clock out. And even when Tennessee dropped, he didn't mind giving the ball back to Tennessee because, again, we were limited to big plays. They weren't getting big chunks of yardage. We made them earn every yard downfield. And that was running time on the clock. And he saw the clock was on his side. And so he just, hey, let's run the ball. If we have to punt it and play defense, we'll punt it and play defense. And he didn't think the clock was on their side. And, he was right. So.
All right. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate you guys, man. This is good work here, analyzing this matchup. Both of you are super fans for your respective teams, so this is good stuff here. What is next for the University of Georgia?
I believe we have at Mississippi State next week. I believe we have Kentucky coming up as well. At Kentucky, I believe, and I think we're home for Georgia Tech. I think those are the last 3.
Okay.
So, I mean, tough games at Kentucky and at Mississippi State. Definitely not the easiest of games to close it out.
Do you all foresee Georgia just finishing out number one all the way up to the SEC championship game? And at this point, pretty safe to say.
I think so. I mean, they're really going to have to, like I said, being on the road against two, I think, middle of the pack quality SEC teams. They're going to have to. They're going to have to definitely focus in. But yeah, I do see them finishing out and going to Atlanta. So.
And so, win or lose in the SEC championship game, do you believe that Georgia will be in the college football playoff? So did yesterday pretty much solidify them making the playoffs?
I mean, if you're thinking about a 2-loss LSU team in the playoff, yeah. I mean, I think that would solidify. I think they're solidified if they get to Atlanta undefeated. I think they're going to be in the playoff either way. I really don't see LSU being that big of a challenge, to be honest with you. I think you could talk about the mental hurdles we've had against Alabama. I think that would probably be the tougher matchup, in my opinion. So, yeah, they get to and lose. I think they're still in the playoff.
Okay. And for you, Goddard, what's next for Tennessee? What's next for them? And do you still believe they're in the college football playoff picture?
Yeah, we're in the playoff picture. We control our own destiny now. With that loss, that Clemson loss and the Alabama second loss or whatever, we control our own destiny. Ohio State. Right now it's looking like Ohio State and Michigan on a crash course. No, they already played. Right?
Ohio State, Michigan. I think it's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're on a crash course, so that's gonna take care of itself. So I think our one loss outweighed one of those one-loss teams. You know what I'm saying? Based on, like, say, the guys that don't have a conference championship. So
right.
If we win out, we control. Like I said, we control our own destiny. We just got to keep winning. And we have we host Missouri this weekend, and then we go to South Carolina, and then we go to Vandy. So, like I say, South Carolina playing pretty good some days. That game between them and Missouri yesterday. Missouri basically handled them, but it was still like early in the game. It was anybody's game. So I think, like I said, we win out and just play smart football. And I think if we were going to take a loss this year, yesterday was the best one for us to take. Because, clearly you look at it, Georgia's been the number one team most of the season. And they played like it yesterday. So when you talk about our resume, okay, we got 5 top 25 wins. And our loss coming to the number one team. So, that speaks volume. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wish it would have been a lot closer. The score don't even show how dominant they were yesterday. I wish it would have been closer. I wish we could have, made a few more plays to make it a little close, make it more entertaining. But like I say, it is what it is now. And I do feel like we're still in the picture. It's a lot of football to be left, but I think we're in the picture.
All right. Okay, well that take care of the Georgia Tennessee talk. Go ahead.
And I was saying to Case point when he was talking about a 2-loss LSU, and I got to understand that Ole Miss still in the picture as well. Ole Miss has one SEC loss, so they're still on their West. Their West is still in. That's a 3-way. That's a 2-way monster now.
Yeah, that's a fair point there. Hey, by the way, Tennessee did beat LSU, right? They beat them in LSU.
Yeah,
right?
We monkey stomped them.
Right. It was pretty much a dominating performance. So
exactly.
that's another feather in your cap right there.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we dominated them, and then they came back and they came back and beat Alabama. And somebody mentioned last night that the Alabama win for Tennessee don't have as much value now because of LSU. How it don't when we beat both of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think the value is still it's still there.
All right, absolutely. So it's not over for either team, but it was still a huge matchup, and pretty much I think we need to keep an eye on Tennessee and Georgia all the way through the new year. I have a feeling they may meet again.
Right. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and you know what else? It'll be interesting about this because it may even be on a neutral site, and so that might have a lot to change turn the tables a little bit as well, to
Right,
see
and
the
it'll be
game in a
like,
neutral site.
yeah, very interesting, especially with the way both teams, both fan bases travel to get out. Especially with the
Must
way
be a
both
Georgia
fan
fan
bases
trying to get
travel.
in there.
No, my youngest, he just in here.
I heard that. All right, guys, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. One of another college football analyst will be on, so we'll be right back in just a few minutes here. Give me about a minute. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Latanya. I'm the owner of Heavily Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavily Spa Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, we thank Latanya at Heavenly Spa Mobile for supporting Triple Option and 401 Sports World. All right, we're gonna bring Calvin in. What's going on,
Good morning,
Coy?
Sports World. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
All right. As you can see, there's Goddard and Brooks are in the studio today, and Coy and Calvin's aware of you guys. He's aware that Tennessee fan, Georgia fan. Coy is actually an Alabama fan. He's been an Alabama fan. He can tell you how far back he goes with that. So it's perfect timing to have him on. But before we talk about the LSU Alabama game and the rest of the college slate, Coy, you've heard what the gentleman, what these gentlemen were saying about the matchup with Tennessee and Georgia. We'll give you a chance here to just give your analysis of it, and then we'll switch over to the other college matchups.
Terrell, the same problem y'all have had all season shows Saturday. Y'all have no defense, but you know that, right? I'm breaking up.
I disagree. It's not that we don't have no defense. Like, our run defense is good. Yeah, we have some secondary issues, and our starting two corners have been out most of the year. And like I say, we have not necessarily bend don't break defense, but we send a lot of pressure and leave gaps in the defense.
Yeah, I'll give you that. There's a lot of holes in your defense, but as far as your prospects for the rest of the year, y'all are gonna fall 4 or 5, maybe 4 probably because Clemson debacle, and then y'all should be in the playoffs, and then we'll probably see another SEC matchup for the national championship, providing that both teams do what they need to do once they get to the playoffs. Because Georgia is pretty much solidified; they're going to the championship, and the West is still undecided. So actually, indirectly, as long as Tennessee holds serves, they're in a perfect position to be there at the end. Anybody disagree with that?
No, I mentioned that yesterday.
Yep, I think we all
yesterday.
agree with that. Brooke, you good with that too? You think Tennessee's going to make the college football playoff?
I mean, I was listening to the radio this morning. They said their playoff chances actually rose so like 61 to 64%. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I mentioned that yesterday, remember? I mentioned that yesterday.
Sure did.
Like I said, we were gonna lose. Yesterday was the perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? To the okay team to lose to for us. You know, they had we beat Georgia yesterday and then turn around and lost to Missouri or South Carolina. No way in chance. We you know what I'm saying? SEC championship or not, no way. We will have to win the SEC championship in order to get there.
Wow, it's kind of like playing the long game
It
indirectly.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And like I say, and especially when you talk about film, now we can go look at this Georgia film and like, okay, this is what we got to work on. What we need to work on was the quarterback, the pressure from the defense, whatever, and especially our defense. Like I say, we send no exotic defenses. It's time to give it up. You know, we're definitely going to be playing better teams. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep giving up those gaps. But like I say, that's perfect. I mean, like I say, I feel like we just gonna walk into the playoffs. We just gotta win now. We gotta go back to playing Tennessee football. Yesterday wasn't Tennessee football. Not taking nothing away from Georgia, but you know what I'm saying. Yesterday wasn't Tennessee football. Not this year's Tennessee team.
All right. Any closing remarks, Corey, on Tennessee, Georgia, before we go to the other matchups?
I kind of figured Tennessee was going to lose because the Georgia's strong point was it's defense front seven, and they were able to dominate the ball game. Tennessee had no answer for that. What kind of shocked me was I kind of figured that Tennessee was going to get off offense a little bit more. That's the part that kind of I was like, because I've had this opinion of offense all year that they didn't care mistakes or nothing. They were just going to go out there and get it. And that was really the first time I really saw that offense look inept. So
we all did. Like I said, I think some of that came along with that pressure. That number one, like we're not used to being in that type of situation. These guys are not used to that caliber. You know what I'm saying? That stage, especially being away. You know. So, but like I say, it is what it is. Now I think we're gonna be better moving forward.
All right. So let's get let's get into the other matchups.
Notice one more thing about Tennessee. What didn't they do? As far as their head coach, they went and got their own coach versus trying to find another Saban. Just a thought.
And that's what I said when we hired Pruitt. That's exactly what I said. We don't need no emulation, no a coach that want to emulate other coaches. We need a man, a standalone man.
All right. Okay, well, let's jump into some other matchups here. We're about halfway through the show. There's Alabama, LSU. All right. Big matchup there. And also the Clemson, Notre Dame. We'll get into that as well. Man, so we have to jump into this one. Corey, you are the Alabama fan. And Alabama fell to LSU on the road. And we need to get your analysis on that. So what was your take on that matchup?
What did I tell you? What have I told y'all? As Bryce Young goes, Alabama goes. All right. And the vaunted Alabama defense comes down to one player, and you have a supposedly defensive football genius that runs the secondary that can't cover nobody. Interesting. There you go. You cannot constantly consider yourself the bar when you constantly give up 30-plus points a game.
So it's safe to say your defense like Tennessee defense, huh?
No, our defense is a little bit worse.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. They don't know me. I'm not that fan. I'm not that fan.
Hey, and I appreciate that because I'm the same way. Like when it comes to it, I'm a realist about it. You know, like you say, when you mentioned of our defense, like you said, our defense ain't good. No, you look at the stats, the run defense is good. It's just the pass defense what hurts us. And I like fans like you. Hey, some of them don't see that. They don't see nothing wrong. It's gung ho all the time.
But what hurts when you say your run defense, I mean on paper, yes. But the way I look at it is because of everything's all these spread offenses. Is it that your run defense so great, or is it that the fact that they can pick you apart in the air, that teams tend to go with what they can get at?
No, that sounds okay, but when you like you said on stats, you look at the paper, they're running the ball just as much as we are. Every game we've been in, everybody's running the ball just as much as we are. They're getting half the numbers.
Yep. And so what else did y'all see from this Alabama LSU game? What were some of the keys to it?
The whole SEC West is mixed up. So it's all up. It's all.
I don't think Alabama has the playmakers downfield this year like they're used
I've
to
been
having.
doing pretty good.
Like he mentioned about Bryce Young being like their go as Bryce Young goes. I don't think he has those playmakers downfield like that they usually have. So it's like he can't spread the ball out like they're used to doing, and that's handicapping their offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Brooks, you have anything about that game?
No, I agree with you look at the wide receivers that Alabama's had the past few seasons. They don't have near that. They had to reach in the transfer portal and get a Georgia transfer and Jermaine Burton as somebody to kind of stopgap. Their best playmaker is Gibbs by far, that running back from I think they got from Georgia Tech. I got a playmaker, but that's really all they got.
Yeah, like he lead the team in rushing and reception, Brooks.
Yeah, hell of a player, really good player.
Right. They need help. They don't have, like I say, he don't have the playmakers.
Playmakers. Credit Byron Kelly for going for 2 and trying to win the game outright. I mean, that's always the thing with Alabama. You got to go and beat them. You got to finish the ball.
Yep.
He saw it.
You're right.
He must have had that play.
Yeah,
and I respect that, man. That's how you got to beat Bama. You got to put them away.
Like now, like period, you got to be aggressive because look how they lost to Florida State early in the season. That's how they lost in those multiple overtime. And Killer, like, you know what? This is not gonna happen to us again. Let's go for it now. And that was a lot of respect for that.
I guess I had to give him a little bit now, huh, TJ?
Well, before you say anything, Tony Goddard has a great comment. This is directed to you, Coy. He says, for the moment, I thought Coy was going to be biased. Then he said, great comment.
Well, Tony, stay tuned. I take shots at everybody, including the people I like. The truth is the truth.
I like that.
I guess I got to give Kelly a little respect because I just didn't feel he was the fit for that team.
Why you didn't think so?
He's just that he doesn't strike me as an LSU type guy. One, he's just so buttoned up and I'm just used to madness down. I'm used to people eating bread.
But hey, you're right. But guess what? Like with some teams, like you look at teams that are trying to come back, trying to be resurrected per se. You know what I'm saying? That might be what they needed. Like they coming off of a high of a championship, and how they go from glory to garbage in overnight. That might be what they need.
I got you. I look at long-term coaches and the culture of the people. Because right now he got the Alabama game. He did his job for this year. But I wonder, is that fan base going to get behind him and give him everything he needs? Because I do not deny he's a great coach. But sometimes great coaches in bad situations is just as bad as having a bad coach. You know what I mean?
Right. But guess what though? Like how's the LSU job a bad situation when you really control the state when it comes to recruiting? It's like it's an easy recruiting ground. For like kids go to LSU because it's LSU.
Oh, I get you. He's going because of the talent level in the school.
Right. Period.
But when I see it, it's more than just the talent level and the coach and all that. It's got to do with how that coach attaches himself and the fan base accept him.
You're right.
And
they have to buy into him just like the players. Right. The fans have to buy into him.
I don't know if they're going to buy into him. Because I'll be honest with you. Old boy that they got rid of only got rid of because he just got to where the alumni couldn't hold on to him. They'd have kept him in foolishness because he's one of Orreaion was one of theirs.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, shout out to Hot Tub Tony. He said yes, he does. Corey, what's the backdrop on Hot Tub Tony? Is he an LSU guy?
He's a Georgia guy.
Oh, he's a Georgia guy? Okay.
Georgia, all Atlanta, all Georgia, all day, all time.
Okay, so him and Brooks will get along great then. Because if I'm not mistaken, Brooks likes every Atlanta, what is it, Georgia, which is not technically Atlanta, but Georgia and with the Hawks, Braves, Falcons.
Yes,
okay.
Homegrown through and through.
All of them, man. All of them.
I'm the same Alabama.
I ride with the Hawks. I ain't messing with them Falcons or the Braves. But
That's probably a good decision to stay away from the Falcons.
Let me tell you,
you
Tyrone.
know, I ride with them Seahawks, them Mets, and them Lakers, and I got some Hawks in me. Yep.
Yeah, this has been going on since we were kids.
Yep. Oh yeah. But
You
yeah, hold
Tyrone?
on. We got some more comments coming in here, Coy. Let's get this out here because I know Brooks. Goddard would like this. This is from Zack, from wherever he is right now.
Hey, I'll look for him to be on it. I give it to him. Hey, you won that yesterday. He did.
No, take that comment down. Because if your behind can't be here, we're not going to acknowledge you.
Thank you, Coy. Thank you, Coy. Thank you. I ain't want to say that. And had I not shown up, that's what they would have said about me. Oh, he hiding now. Oh, he hiding. Appreciate that,
All right.
Coy.
There it is. Zack, you've been called out. Say step up, man up, show up.
Tell him go kick some rocks.
Okay. All right, Tony Goddard has a comment here looks like it's about Kelly. Says he's a great recruiter and coach. He thinks it's a great spot for him to be in LSU. What you guys think?
We're going to find out.
Like you said, like Coach saying, oh, go ahead, Brooks.
No, it's like, anytime you can go get a proven winner, his track record was already good before he got to LSU. Proven winner at Notre Dame. And they had to go the opposite direction. They've had players, coaches with their past two coaches, Orreaion and Matt Hatter. So they needed a more structured, hardline coach. So I think it was a good move.
Miles, believe it or not, was not a player's coach. He was just batshit crazy. He was really not. he was a media darling, I guess, and it was just funny to watch him. But he really was not really that much of a player's coach. When it came down, it came down to it. It's like everybody say Bobby Bowden was a player's coach, but it's just that he kept everything in house. He was one of those old school coaches that was just silly, but when you asked his players, he was on their asses. He expected a certain level. Miles' problem is he can't recruit quarterbacks, and that's always been his problem.
All right. Here's some more comments here from Hot Tub. After beating Bama, he thinks the fans will get behind him. He also says Georgia all day. I know you like that, Brooks. And this is the comment of the day. The Falcons are at the top of the NFC South.
Man, we are not finna talk about that. Now we're not finna talk about that.
I'll enjoy it while it lasts. But
that's not even worth the airspace today.
Let's not get into that,
Man.
On top of the world. All right, so let's get into we talked about the Alabama game. All right, so another reason why Goddard is feeling good about the loss yesterday is that Clemson, right? Clemson fell, and we did talk about that on Saturday. That there needs to be some teams that need to fall, and so Notre Dame with an impressive victory here over Clemson, and so so what's your take on that? And we'll start with Goddard, then Case, and then Coy.
I predicted this one. I didn't think it would be as bad. I'm in a pool sheet at work, and I chose Notre Dame. I thought they had the edge based on what I've seen from Clemson this year. Notre Dame didn't come out the year they didn't start out great, but they've been playing okay football lately. And I think that was great timing for them to go against Clemson because Clemson hadn't been playing good football. They just been bad again by, you know what I'm saying? And it's much needed for Notre Dame and Coach Freeman. And I really applaud him for that win yesterday. Like they handled them. Clemson didn't score until it was 28-0, so they really handled them. Yeah, it wasn't nothing close about it. They handled them from the kickoff. And I liked every moment of it, and it helps Tennessee in the long run.
All right, Brooks.
Yeah, you just look at Clemson coming in and they haven't really been impressive. I don't believe in their quarterback. I've seen him enough games to know. I mean, he's just not the guy. So it's just a matter of time before they falter. To be honest with you, just seeing how they play.
Okay, well that's good for Notre Dame. I mean, a victory over Syracuse and now over Clemson, so they kind of redeeming themselves, especially after losing to Marshall, and
Right.
that and that's going to help them with their broad recruiting base, and so just kind of salvage their season as well. So, good way for Notre Dame to bounce back this year. Also, I'll be remiss without mentioning that Liberty beat
Beat
Arkansas
Arkansas.
at Arkansas,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's actually Zack's first team back in the day. Used to be the Razorbacks. He has roots back in the Arkansas area, and then some years later he switched to Georgia and rode with the Dogs for a long time. But yeah, back in the day, used to be the Razorbacks was his squad. But man, an upset there with Liberty. So they're actually showing things. Do y'all think that the coach, is it Freeze? If I'm not mistaken, is it Hugh
Yep.
Freeze? Is he going to maybe land at Auburn?
I don't know if I don't know if they're ready to take that chance on him, because of his background. Some teams have been staying away from him, but his name was really hot last year. I don't know if they're ready to take that chance on, especially with this turmoil they just had with this coach. I don't know if they really want that figure in office per se right now. But hey, it's gonna be interesting to see.
I say they let Cadillac take the job for a year.
I think so. Hey, and that's what my thought last night. That's what I said. Give him a
And
shot.
and actually let him see what he can do with the team. And that also gives you a year to really decide what kind of coach you want.
Yeah.
Leave it him set that program that program the coach had, whether it was Chick or the one
You breaking up.
Corey, you breaking up on us.
all right, hold on.
I can get Brooks to chime in on that.
Did that make it better?
All right, go ahead.
I was saying the national championship with Cam kind of set that program back, actually, because of the coaches they had. It's one of those deals where you got an okay coach with a once in generational talent, and they took him to the national championship, and they kept trying to recreate. They kept trying to recreate that old magic when they got rid of Malzahn and then brought Chizzy back in, and it's like no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
All
right.
Okay. Well, yeah. And so let's see. We touched on the Clemson Notre Dame. That was a major one. Any other games you all want to mention?
Ohio State.
Okay.
They struggled yesterday. They struggled big yesterday. I know the weather was a major factor, but they against a 1-18, they really look like, and I say that to say because going into before the playoff started, the playoff ranking came out. It was like everybody was like the eye test, the eye test, the eye test. Ohio State, the eye test. Ohio State, the eye test. And they went out there yesterday, and I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing that could give me the notation that they were really ready to that type of team against a 1-8 team. I ain't saying you got to beat them by 50, but you got to play better than that.
I mean, let's be honest. The eye test this season, if everybody want to be honest with themselves, there's no team that's really separated from the pack to say, okay, these are these guys, these are these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Georgia,
Right.
yesterday, doing what they did to Tennessee was the first team that we could honestly say, yeah, I can see something going on there. And that being said, you still got Stetson Bennett as a quarterback. But we're gonna move on. I'll leave you alone. I'll let you live on that, Bruce.
I mean, I think the Oregon win by 40 points. Now look at them; they're in the top 10, highly regarded. I mean,
yeah,
we got
agree with
the
you on that.
we got the two best wins. I mean, our resume speaks for itself now. Adding double-digit win with Tennessee and Oregon. Yeah, I think it's Georgia and then everybody else right now, if I'm being honest.
Right now, yes, I'll give you that.
That's fair to say. I mean,
my observation would be just throw this in there. Texas A&M, five losses in a row. That program's going in the wrong direction. I don't think Jimbo Fisher is the X's and O's coach. He may can recruit. He's not a good coach. That program going in. They gave him a 10-year contract too. That
with a whole lot of money.
Direction.
With a whole lot of money.
And didn't they have the top recruiting class?
They did. The NIL money. They paid a lot of kids.
They ain't gonna stay. They ain't gonna stay.
Oh, and I want to mention before we move on to also, I know don't want to cut such. I just want to mention we got 2 Middle Georgia guys that plays on that Liberty team as well. Mark Walker plays linebacker, and Antoine Jackson, he's a red shirt cornerback. Just wanted to mention those Georgia guys that's playing up there at Liberty.
Very good.
You're gonna find Georgia guys with any team that wins. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kansas.
I'm a fan, but my bloodline runs here, y'all.
Yes, sir. That's right. Kansas. They're bowling. They're going bowling this year. They're now bowl eligible. So, mainly known as a basketball school, but they stepped up their football game now, and they're going bowling. They're bowl eligible. And man, Tanner, Mordecai, what a game yesterday. 9 TD passes, 433 total yards, and throwing a rushing TD. Man, he had a monster game yesterday. So just want to give a shout out to him.
At the game that was 77-63 or something.
Yes, that was the exact score. Gotta, you don't miss a thing, do you?
Man, I got 5 TVs in the man cave for a reason.
Hey, I see, and a stadium behind you.
Yeah, man. I have to catch it all, man. But that was crazy. Like 77 points. Like we're really talking about a D1 basketball score. Like that. Man.
That's crazy.
All
right, guys. We got about 8 minutes to go. Well, actually 6 minutes, because I need 2 minutes to close everything out. So let's step into an arena that we tend to talk about every week. You talked about programs that were doing well, like Liberty, for example. But Jackson State, okay, they win again. And the game was a sellout in Houston against Texas Southern. And that's a nice trend that's going along. So wherever Jackson State's playing on the road, they're starting to create those that fandom and get the sellouts going. So that's good for a lot of programs in the Southwest Atlantic Conference. But Jackson State won 41-14. They looked impressive again. And there's always talk about Coach Prime and where he may end up. And so, Corey, I've heard your thoughts on it before, but let's get Case thoughts and Goddard's thoughts on Coach Prime. And
I saw when game day was there last week, he handled the coaching carousel question about as well as I've seen any coach handle it. He said, of course I'm going to listen to offers, but right here, right now, I'm coaching Jackson State. And I mean, you can't answer it any better than that. I'm very impressed with him.
All right. Got it.
I've always impressed with anything Dion really does. But I don't think I know he's listening to offers, but I think what he has invested right now as far as the school and especially his sons, I don't see him moving right now. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll give his kids time to finish up or whatever. And, because he's done, like, it's been a major change for that program, like in the short time he's been there. So I think if he waits those 2-3 more years when both his sons are gone, it's going to be even bigger. And it's going to be abroad for the HBCUs or whatever, And so I think he'll wait out a little bit or whatever, see what his kids until they are gone. And then I think he might really listen to some offers then and make a move. But at the same time, like it's tough when you have a coach come in who's bigger than the program, So it's gonna who's really gonna pull that trigger, you know what I'm saying, when that guy is bigger than your program. But I think things different now with the NIL. So I think that'll kind of balance that out.
All right, Corey, you want to close it out?
What, like I said before, if Dion's thinking legacy, if he ushers that conference into a Division I viable conference, and if he takes that Jackson State team and they move up, and he makes a bowl game and has a couple years of a top 25 appearance, that's going to be more impressive than he going to a known power and doing what you expect him to do at a known power. Because if
Right.
he goes, say, because let's look at it. Let's honest. He's the only schools that he's going to go. He's not going to go to a small Division I school. He's either going to go to a Florida State type school, Auburn.
Texas A&M.
I don't even think Texas A&M is not enough program. Texas A&M is just big enough because they're in Texas, but they're not.
They have the money. They have the money.
Right, but the money. Money's not so much a thing for him because you think about it. The amount of money he generates now just by advertising and every other thing that he attaches himself can counterbalance that. See what I'm saying?
At that bank, they're unlimited.
So I know what you're talking about. That oil, hell, if that's the case, go to Rice. But his also that always balance it out with his image.
Honestly, don't go to Georgia Tech.
Nah, he ain't going there. But he ain't going there. Only a fool to go to Georgia Tech. Because it is literally too hard for you to recruit and keep students at that school. It just is. Everybody thinks it's all about the engineering program, but the rest of the programs are hard.
All right. Well, I see Dion staying at Jackson State. I think they're going to get a new stadium for one. I think they already got plans out that's drawn up for having one. I think they're working on getting the approval, but I think that's going to happen, and I think there's going to be a model. And I think eventually, maybe at some point, I like the part where Corey was saying about getting them into a conference, or even helping the SWAC/MEAC become like a big mega conference or something along those lines. I think he'll do something like that, which will be a bigger move than, let's just say, going to an Auburn. And then you do a good job there for a while, but then eventually get let go. I mean, look at the greats. Even the greats of all time have been let go. At some point, Saban's going to get let go. So I think that his impact will be better suited there like it is now. And I think that's more of his mission.
Saban will retire before he get let go.
Well, yeah, you can say that too. It'll be like how Steve Nash was let go, and then they said it was like a mutual agreement.
Not Saban. Oh, no.
But yeah, so that's good, guys. Let's see how we get this in with Hot Tod Tony before we go. So he should stay at Jackson State. What he's building not only benefit Jackson State, but the whole conference. And if he leaves for Auburn, he thinks Auburn would be a good fit for Coach Prime. All right.
I agree.
All right, guys. We are right up on it. I appreciate everybody being on. Appreciate all the comments. Definitely appreciate everybody hitting that like, subscribe, notification. Zack, you've been called out. The guys want you out here. They want you in the ring. So you got to show up. They want you. All right. For Coy, for Brooks, for Goddard, I'm Mr. 411. Thank everybody for watching and listening to Triple Option. We'll see you next week. We out.